grandpa, he looks at him and he says, okay, the truth is, I was not stealing anything in a red box. I was stealing the shopping cart. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you focus on the little things, you'll miss out on the bigger picture. So, what are the elements now? Elements of storytelling. So, before that, how many senses do we have? Five. Which are they? Okay, fine. So, one of the important aspects of storytelling is painting a picture. How can you paint a picture in an audience's mind? And it's quite simple. One of the easiest trick is to add a location. Now, for example, I was writing a book. Simple. I was writing a book in a graveyard. I was writing a book in a hill station. I was writing a book in a jail. I was writing a book in an orphanage. Just by adding the location, can you see how the entire mood changed? Right? So let's do a quick exercise. Your sentence will be, I was dancing. Just add one location next to it, like anything which you feel like. Quick. I'll ask everyone. That's right. Everyone should do it. I was dancing.
In the tree.
Yes. Someone else?
In the rain.
Dancing at the Dhanya night.
Okay, anyone else? Yeah.
In the rain.
I was dancing behind my Venus.
See, the same act, but it paints a different image and different emotions along with the image. That's what is important. So next time while you're sharing a story, like, see, we all use stories in a conversation. We all share our experiences, but we don't do it deliberately, or we don't use specific techniques to paint a picture. So next time while sharing something, hey, you know what, I went there, add some more details, be specific, where exactly you went, how was it, like, okay? Next is time travel. Same thing, I was driving next to a beach, add a time. I was driving next to a beach at midnight. I was driving next to a beach in the afternoon. I was driving next to a beach in 1961. Right? It shapes the entire scenario. So let's try this. For I was dancing, you can add location and time. Anyone? I was dancing in the rain
At midnight.
at midnight.
What were you doing?
That builds curiosity. At that, it just builds curiosity. Okay, we'll go. So anyone else? Give it a shot. I was dancing.
Dhanya night.
Yeah.
And citizen.
Okay. So you got the point, right? Add the time frame. Next is color. The little girl was standing across the street amidst the chaotic crowd, holding an orange balloon. A specific color, it draws attention towards a specific detail. Okay, now let's flex your creative muscles. Form a sentence which has a color. Now, for example, I was walking across the street, a red strawberry grabbed my attention.
I was sitting up on the table, that purple bottle grabbed my attention.
Good, good. Anyone else?
I looked outside the window and noticed the dark clouds.
Anyone else? Ma'am?
Feeling like ancient. I looked at Sapna and I thought she was like sunshine because she's wearing yellow.
So, color, especially all these three aspects, while you're sharing a story, it actually slows down the timeline also. You're drawing command the attention. It's like a movie reel is going on, and suddenly when you say that, okay, I was there at this point of time and the color was yellow, it slows down the time in the mind of the listener. That's the beauty of these basic techniques of storytelling. So next time while you are having a conversation, make sure that you use it, but don't overdo it. Okay? Now, for example, best way to use it is one of my mentee. She had a scene in her speech where she was this little girl eating chocolate. So I told her, why don't you add some color to it? In the sense, I was this little girl standing under a banyan tree, wearing a pink shoes and eating Cadbury's chocolate, and the entire chocolate was all over my face. And even the evaluator also was like, okay, I love that description what is given. Because actually slows down the time, it draws the attention. That's a very simplistic way. But don't overdo it. Like I was wearing a pink shoes, a blue frock, and a long this thing dress, and a purple color this thing. What is that? Cadbury's and XYZ XYZ. Just specific. So that's enough. A slight touch over there, the location of the banyan tree. Okay, no need to go in detail like banyan tree was this that, because that thing works in writing. Storytelling in writing is a different art, where you have to go more in specifics of how does it work. Okay. Now, for example, yesterday my boss gave me a journal which read, "You can do it." That's a sentence. Yesterday in a cafe, my boss gave me a blue journal which read, "You can do it." Or yesterday in a hotel room at midnight, my boss gave me a red journal which read, "You can do it."
That last one is very suggestive.
So it's open for interpretation.
I'm confused.
Continue the call.
But see, just the location, as I mentioned. So entire emotion changes. It might be spooky, it might be anything, right?
Also, color has an association. You said red book,
Red,
you know,
right.
immediately your mind goes to all these.
So let's try this. I went hiking yesterday with my dog. So you can add location, color. Anyone would like to try? Again, there's nothing right and wrong, okay? Because storytelling, one thing what I believe is there's effective storytelling and non-effective storytelling. There's nothing like right story, wrong story. So if you are not effective, you can always be effective in this case.
I went hiking yesterday with my dog down this long winding road in Bokapatna, and I was alarmed by this big black cow riding.
Anyone else who would like to try?
Quick. I went hiking with my dog early morning up Leading Hill and got chased by a bull because I was wearing a red dress.
Good one. Next is a centered memory. This is visual, but how we can use some specific figure to get smell into the picture. Generally, the gross sensation, gross smells, they triggers instantly. For example, one of my speech I had, the fisherman gave me the note smelled like a dead fish. She remembers. So the moment, say right now I didn't add any emotion to the delivery, but in the actual state when we do it, I was like, oh, it smelled like a dead fish, and the audience were like, ugh. You could actually see the audience reaction. Okay. Next is the stench of the dog. It was, I puked immediately. See, you got the reaction, right? So it's quite easy. Like a gross sensation, it instantly triggers the mind. So other than distinctive smell of petrol, matchstick, flowers, old books, money. Actually, money also smells different. Right? And yeah, you can try it or go and not smell money.
It should be a fresh one.
Actually, I read in one of the book also, even for manifestation also, some people, they try to recreate the smell of money. So next is taste. So taste is also again raw mangoes, Or the city center, you get the pineapple with the chakpata masala. Yes. All those tangy taste and sour taste, it triggers the emotion. Now, while you're using the smell and taste, one thing is important is you should know the audience also. Okay. Now, for example, your friend, they might not be so keen about smell of flowers. You know, they might not resonate with it. Okay, so be mindful of the audience. In some specific part of the world, coffee is not so common, right? So if you say that, you know, the smell of the aroma of the coffee, like for them it doesn't make much difference. So make sure that all these are relatable to their, they can associate with it. Okay. So storytelling through data. Story versus truth. Once upon a time, there was this old man who had long beard and latest fashion dress, lot of pockets in it. It just looked like a modern Santa Claus. And whenever he used to pass his village, people loved him. It's like, hey old man, come here, come and talk to me. Hey you, come here, come have some tea and coffee or some cakes with us, come. Other person said, no, you come here, you have some wine and cheese, please come with me. At the same time, there was this very beautiful woman, but no one used to like her. The moment she would approach anyone, they would shut their doors, they would close their windows, and nobody used to talk to her. And this beautiful woman, she was so frustrated, you know, how come everybody accepting this old man, but why not me? She goes towards the old man. He's like, everybody accepts you, but not me. Who do you think you are? So the old man, he says, well lady, I am a story. Who are you? She says, I am the truth. Well, it sounds like people don't like truth. This lady, she removes her clothes and hoping that people would notice it. But nobody noticed. Because people don't like naked clothes. So the old man, he was wise. He was filled with wisdom. He says, I have too much of cheese, coffee, wine and everything, abundance I get. Why don't you come with me? I will share it with you. From that day onwards, she jumped into the pocket of the old man of the story. And from that day onwards, whenever the story goes, there's always an element of truth in it. So, your data is a naked truth. People don't like looking at data. It's a naked. Now this is the data for one of the firm which are in construction, and this is about how many people were injured and all that's the data. Now I want to convince my board members, you all are the board members over here, and I want to convince you to upgrade our equipments and get some more funding. Good afternoon everyone, my name is Noel D'Souza, thank you so much for your time. Last week I got this data and I was shocked. There was percentage increase in fatalities by 33%, near misses by 42%. Most of them are getting injured in our construction site. And this number is far lesser compared to the industry standards. We are doing better compared to other companies, but still is not enough. I need some funding where we can, I have pointed up some specific instruments. If we upgrade them, we can still decrease the amount of damage which happens to our workers. And I also have a plan where I'll be getting some engineers from Japan. They'll be working in our construction site. They'll make sure the number decreases, and we will be the first company in India to have the lowest number of injuries in the working site. And for this, I need 2 crore rupees urgently. This is first scenario. Second, last week I went to hospital to see our employee Ramesh. Before this, I saw him 1 month ago. He had come to our construction site after work. His daughter Kushi was on his shoulder. They both went around the construction site and he showed this construction site to his daughter as if it was his own project. He was so proud about the project we all were working on. And while going back, he was holding Kushi's hand in one side, and on the other side he was holding his wife's hand. They were all happily enjoying the ride around the construction site and we were going on. But last week when I saw him, he lost both his hands. Kushi can no longer sit on her father's shoulders. She can no longer hold her father's hands. It's true that we are given compensation. But what's the point of it when daughter and wife can no longer hold father's or husband's hands? And the number what you see over here, they're not just numbers. They are our Ramesh in the fact who's working. And I have planned out some specific things for the company where we can upgrade some specific equipments which will make sure the number of injuries are decreased. And we can also plan to bring in some engineers from Japan and make sure that this number goes at least close to zero. Because our aim is not to be the first company to have the lowest number of injuries in the site, but to empower the people who are working in our company. For this, I need the funding of people. So, which one was more effective? Second one. So, next time, whenever you have a data, make sure that you have that personal touch, a story, a real life story, and you present it, so that the point will reach to the stakeholders. And as we all know, nobody likes a naked truth. So this, how much time?
Divya? It's late. It's okay.
Okay, 2 minutes to go.
I think if all of us are okay, you can continue. If anybody else getting late? Only Divya because she has prior commitments.
Yes.
The recording is Thank you,
Because nobody is in a hurry to go, I think you could take a few minutes
Okay.
more and complete
Try to
it.
wrap it up. Yes. Next is creating your own story arsenal. To be an extraordinary storyteller, you need to have amazing collection of stories, or else you can't be a good storyteller. And to find personal stories, it can be a bit challenging because you need to actually sit down and write down what happened today, which is helpful. But sometimes it takes more time to tune into that, how to discover story in day-to-day life. So one of the easiest technique is borrow stories. There are thousands of stories which are waiting to be reused, which have the same impact. For example, today I used a couple of stories. You can use it in your, for example, the red box in your own with your team who is somewhat too much focused on small things which doesn't matter. You can share that story. Because if you go and tell, hey, you know what, Sapna, you're focusing on this small things, it's not that. You don't do it. So what happens is the employee feels like, okay, fine. One thing is you won't be giving actual reason why exactly you're not supposed to do it. Second, it feels like it's too preachy, So what, it's okay, I like doing it. But when you say that, you see the bigger picture, okay, through story, you connect to him emotionally and you're like, okay, fine, he will get the point. That's one of the things. And as I mentioned, from your own life, day-to-day life, you can derive own stories. It need not, initially it will be difficult to have a moral for every story. Okay? So one incident what happened was while I was driving near Bharat Mall, the windows were closed. Suddenly a driver came and for no reason he looked back and started yelling something. Okay, my mom was next to me. And my mom, even though we didn't hear anything, my mom, she was a bit disturbed, why? But for me, technically, it's like I didn't hear anything, it doesn't make a difference, right? But there's a moral again, sometimes we need to shut our ears, just like how we shut the windows of the car. We need to shut our ears and just ignore. A small incident, 30-second incident, but there's a story behind it. So, existing stories you can use, and importantly, make a note in your phone. You have notes in your phone, Google Notes or any other app. Write down any interesting lines. For example, you're watching a video, some line which caught your attention. Okay, so one of the line is recently which I came to my. See, we will try and fail, but never fail and try. Fail to try. Okay. School, lose your cool. It's somewhat rhyming, so it's not an exact grammatically right sentence, but perhaps if I have this somewhere in some point of time, I can try to collect school and cool and form a sentence around it. Because rhyming words, people like rhyming words. If you snooze, you never know what you lose. This pain I can never explain.
No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. School lose. So what you can take some rhyming words. And my favorite is fear is like beer. You won't like it the first time, not the second time, but eventually you will outgrow it.
Yes.
So that was one of the things which I wrote long time back. Or else some stories. There is one story which I just written down over here, The Naked Woman. Okay, one reel I saw. So what happens is the naked woman, she approaches a taxi driver. Okay, and taxi driver is looking up top to down. And naked woman is like, "What, haven't you seen a naked woman before?" He's like, "I have seen, ma'am, but I really wonder, do you have money to pay me?" Okay, so moral is don't get distracted, be very objective. So write it down, because we go through so much of content. One good line, you can use it any moment in a conversation, in the stories, it makes a difference. Okay, so business storytelling, I will skip this story because but this one. How to form a vision story. Framework is simple. Imagine a world where ... Here we are not selling a product. Here we are selling citizenship. We are painting a future of your product or the future world. How will you feel if you use our product, where you will reach. And we sell the citizenship of that world. That's why imagine a world where. So one of the classic videos I have, classic example is one of Dove company. What happened was, for a long time, there were some companies who held the story of beauty. They defined the beauty. You have to be fair, your nose has to be like this, ears and blah blah blah. And everybody bought into that story. But Dove, they redefined it. It happened 10 years ago, where they said, imagine a world where beautiful is a body where you are born with. That's what Dove had done, where you should be comfortable with your own skin, own body and they redefine, consciously redefining beauty. This is another ad from Scrabble. Scrabble is a game where you give the words, right? So the framework over here, imagine a world where people had better vocabulary. It's not playing for some reason.
One, two, hey, you two, come here. Why you late?
Sir, I overslept.
Oh, do 50 push-ups. And you, why you late?
Sir, I have clinomania.
What?
Sir, I have clinomania.
Oh, okay. You take rest. Please, sir.
I'm using that word. Done.
Sapna will fire you.
So that's the thing. So if you have any product or any service you are selling, imagine a world where you'll add some emotion to it, then a good ad you can frame out of it. But out of all these stories, this one, the most important story. And the most important story is the one which we tell to ourselves. When we want to achieve something, when we have a goal, sometimes we try to beat ourselves down by saying, hey, no, you can't do it. Someone is much more experienced than you, but they have not done it right. What makes you think you can do it? So we all keep on playing the stories in our mind. So it's very important for us to change the stories we tell to ourselves. Because one positive thought is always 100 times powerful than the negative one. So next time when you encounter with a negative story, just make it a positive one. And at the end of the day, change your story, change your life.